The city of Dallas, Texas, was alive with its constant rhythm. Skyscrapers glowing at night, highways weaving like veins across the land, and the hum of both dreams and dangers in the air. For Jacob Harris, a 26-year-old journalist, Dallas was more than just home. It was his battleground for truth. Jacob worked for a local paper, covering stories others often ignored. He had grown up in a small Texas town, raised by hardworking parents who believed in honesty above all. When he moved to Dallas, he promised himself he would never back down from exposing corruption. But sometimes standing for truth meant standing against powerful enemies. It all started one late evening at a boxing gym in the heart of the city. Jacob wasn't a boxer himself, but he often came to the gym to clear his head, watch the fighters train, and talk to the old coach who had become something of a mentor. The coach's name was Samuel Sam Bennett, a 70-year-old retired Marine who had seen more than most could imagine. He was known in the community as a man of discipline, strength, and unshakable values. His gym wasn't just a place to throw punches. It was a refuge for young men trying to find their path, for kids trying to stay out of trouble, and even for people like Jacob who just needed someone wise to talk to. That evening, the rain tapped against the roof of the gym while the sound of gloves hitting punching bags echoed like a drumbeat. Jacob sat on the wooden bench, watching. A young boxer, sweat dripping down his face, asked Sam a question. "How many rounds, sir?" The old coach looked at him, his voice steady. "As many as it takes until you learn. Not every round is about winning. It's about surviving, understanding, and refusing to quit." The words struck Jacob deeper than he expected. He had been struggling with a dangerous story he was investigating. Real estate developer rumored to be bribing officials, forcing families out of their homes, and silencing anyone who resisted. Jacob had received threats already. Anonymous letters, late-night phone calls, even someone following him home once. He wasn't sure how much longer he could push forward. When Sam noticed his silence, he walked over. "Something on your mind, son?" Jacob hesitated. "I don't know if I can keep going with this story. They're powerful people. Dangerous." Sam studied him with calm eyes. "You asked how many rounds, didn't you? The answer is the same. You keep going until the fight is done. You don't back down just because the punches hurt." Those words became the start of something bigger than Jacob could imagine. That night, after leaving the gym, Jacob realized he was being followed again. A dark SUV trailed him slowly as he crossed the street. His heart raced. He darted into a crowded diner, slipping into a booth near the window. The SUV lingered outside, then drove away. Jacob pulled out his phone and dialed Sam. "Coach, I think they're watching me." Sam's voice didn't shake. "Come to the gym. You're not facing this alone." For the next few weeks, Jacob practically lived at the gym. He wrote his articles during the day and stayed near Sam at night. The old man refused to let him walk into danger unprotected. More than once, Sam sat outside Jacob's apartment in his truck just to make sure no one came around. "You're not going anywhere until this is over," Sam told him firmly one evening. "You asked me how many rounds. The answer is, we stay in until the bell rings." One night, Jacob discovered someone had broken into his apartment. Papers were scattered, files missing, but his laptop was still there. Whoever it was wanted to scare him, not steal. That was the night Sam insisted Jacob move into the small spare room in the back of the gym. It wasn't fancy, just a cot, a desk, and the smell of leather gloves and sweat, but it was safe. Sam stayed in his office nearby, keeping his shotgun propped against the wall. The younger boxers noticed Jacob there and treated him like family. Days turned into weeks. Jacob published the first part of his article, exposing documents that proved bribery. The backlash was immediate. The developer's lawyers threatened lawsuits, and the threats against Jacob grew worse. But he refused to quit. Each night, when fear started to creep in, he remembered Sam's words. "How many rounds, sir?" "As many as it takes." The final blow came one Friday night. Jacob and Sam were leaving the gym when two men in dark jackets approached. Their voices were low, threatening. "You need to stop writing, kid," one of them said. "This is your last warning." Before Jacob could respond, Sam stepped forward. At 70, his back was still straight, his eyes still sharp. "You boys want to scare someone, you picked the wrong man," Sam said calmly. "This young man has more courage than you'll ever understand. Now get off my property before you regret it." The men hesitated. Something about Sam's unwavering presence made them think twice. They left, muttering threats, but they didn't return. By the end of the month, Jacob's full investigation was published. The developer's empire crumbled, lawsuits piled up, and the city praised the bravery of a young journalist who refused to back down. But Jacob knew he couldn't have done it alone. One evening, after the storm had passed, he sat with Sam in the empty gym. The air was quiet except for the faint hum of the city outside. Jacob smiled. "So tell me honestly, coach, how many rounds was this fight?" Sam chuckled, leaning back in his chair. "Every fight feels like it'll never end. But the answer never changes, son. You fight as many rounds as it takes until truth stands taller than fear." Jacob nodded, his heart full. He knew he would carry those words forever, not just as a journalist, but as a man who learned courage from a 70-year-old mentor who refused to let him give up. And in the city of Dallas, the story of one young reporter and one old coach spread quietly. A reminder that some battles aren't fought with fists or weapons, but with truth, resilience, and the courage to go all the rounds life